Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, November 14th, 2025. Big show today. We're going to try to cram it all in. NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, soccer, golf. On this day, news and notes and best bet, and the Fab Five to close. All right, now we'll start with football. We had Thursday Night Football last night. We'll talk about it real quick and then look ahead to Sunday. And I promise I won't do the podcast like I did last Friday where I just pretty much rushed everything. Patriots over the Jets 24-14. The Patriots are now 9-2. They've won 8 straight games after starting the year 1-2. And the Jets dropped to 2-8. Now we look ahead to Sunday. From Madrid, Commanders Dolphins. My line is the Dolphins by 5, total 48 and 9/20. This game is going to be on the NFL Network. So, the interesting thing is Kenny Albert's group is calling this game. So that draws a lot of monkey wrenches into the NHL broadcasting a little bit with the Rangers. So, I think that's the only thing that affects. That catches me by surprise that they're in that group doing it instead of Rich Eisen's group doing it. And the number is, hang on, not NBA. 2.5, total 47.5. So for this one, I am going to go lay the 2.5 with the Dolphins. I just think that Miami is a little bit more healthy than Washington right now, with Washington missing its quarterback. Next up, 1 o'clock on Fox, Panthers Falcons. My line's pick'em in 40 and 9/10. And it is 3.5 and 41.5. I'm going to take the Panthers getting 3.5. 2 offensive linemen, McGarry out for the year, obviously Robert Hunt out for Carolina. I think that cancels out, so plus the points. Even though this is a revenge spot for Atlanta, I know a lot of people are going to be on Atlanta this week. Next up on CBS, Bucks Bills. This is probably the Iron Eagle group. My line is Buffalo by 4.5, total 48 and 2/5. Any other week, this is Nance and Romo. 5.5, total 46.5. Slight over. On Fox, Texans Titans. My line's Titans 4.5, total 41 and 1/5. And it is Texans 5.5, total 37.5, and that is without CJ Stroud too. It surprises me. I know he's out again. Yeah, he's out again. Why is Davis Mills giving 5.5 on the road? They should have lost that game to begin with last week against whoever the fuck they played. Jacksonville. I'm taking Tennessee plus 5.5 and plus 210. That's ridiculous. Davis Mills sucks. Bears Vikings on Fox. This is probably Burkhardt and Brady. My line is pick'em in 50. And it is Vikings 2.5, total 47.5. I could go over or take the Bears plus 2.5. For the sake of the podcast, based on the price, because it's probably going to move, I'll lay the heavy juice of 47.5 on the over. That game will probably not be in Fab 5, though. Packers Giants. I think this is Adam Amin's group doing this game. It's Packers by 10 without Jackson Dart, total 46 and 3/20, and with Jackson Dart it'd be 6. And it's 7.5, total 43.5. I really like the over in this game. I think Jameis Winston could sling it compared to Russell Wilson. CBS, Bengals, Steelers. My line is Steelers by a whopping 15.5. Total 52 and 13/20ths, and it's 5.5 and 49.5. I absolutely adore the Steelers minus 5.5 to the spot. I love it. It's a revenge spot. Tomlin, he ain't not gonna want to lose to the Bengals again, so I'm laying the points. And considering how bad they looked last week, it's also a bounce back spot. Also on CBS, Chargers Jaguars, so a rematch of the comeback playoff game a couple years ago. Mine's Jaguars won after total 45 and 3/4, and it's Chargers by 3, total 43.5. I'm going to take the Jaguars plus the 3 and plus 134 to win the game outright. Seahawks Rams on Fox at 4 o'clock. My line is the Rams by 4, total 47 and 3/10. And this is the best game of the week. This is going to be Burkhardt and Brady. This is actually going to be Burkhardt and Brady. And then Joe Davis's group's probably getting Minnesota. I don't think the league thought this was going to be that good of a game. What they should have done is move this to 420, or move this to cross-flex it with CBS, and Nance and Romo could have got this game. But KC Denver's every bit as marquee as Seattle Rams at this point. 3 and 48.5. Slight under. That game won't be in Fab 5. And for good reason. I want to enjoy it too. 49ers, Cardinals. My line's Niners by 6, total 45 and 13/20ths. They got Brock Purdy back this week, and it's only 3, total 48.5. I'm going to lay the 3 with the Niners. Kyler Murray's still out. I know this could be the rat line of the week. I don't fucking care. I'm laying it with the Niners. Ravens, Broncos at CBS. Nance and Romo and friends on the call. We'll get to that in a second. Ravens, Browns is up next. That's not going to be Nance and Romo. I don't even know. Is it maybe Kevin Harlan? My line's Ravens by 7, total 46 and 3/10, and it is 7.5 and 39.5. I love the over in that game. I think Lamar could do that by himself. And here it is, the game of the week. 4:25 on CBS. Chiefs, Broncos from Denver. Nance and Romo on the call and Tracy Wolfson. It's Broncos by a whopping 7, total 42 and 3/10, and it's obviously Chiefs 3.5, total 44.5. Y'all know where I'm going. Denver plus 3 in the hook, plus 176 outright. Let's fucking go. Chiefs are going down. And Sunday Night Football, Lions, Eagles, 8:20, NBC and Peacock. My line's Eagles by 7, total 49 and 11/20ths, and it's 2.5 and 46.5. I absolutely love the Eagles minus the 2.5. Detroit has injuries galore. This screams blowout Eagles. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Philadelphia Eagles against the Lions. Okay, college football now. Boy, do I love the NFL slate this week. I can't wait till the Fab 5. It's going to be a hard one. We'll recap the game from last night. Look ahead to tonight's 2 big games in college, in addition to the rest of the slate. So, Old Dominion over Troy, 33-0. That's a little unfortunate, because I really liked Troy getting the points. That would have probably been best bet had, I'd been in Jersey or in a betting state yesterday when I recorded. All right, to tonight, 7:30 ESPN, Clemson at number 20, Louisville. My line's Louisville 8.5, total 52 and 9/20ths, and Louisville is giving only 2.5, total 50.5. I absolutely adore Louisville minus 2.5. Clemson's the most overrated team in the sport this year, so I'm laying the points. 9 o'clock on Fox, Minnesota, number 8, Oregon. I have Oregon 8.5, total 48 and 19/20ths. It's 25.5, total 44.5. I think Minnesota covers. I don't think Minnesota's that bad of a team. And Oregon cruises to a win. Okay. On the Saturday, 12 o'clock on the Big Ten Network, Wisconsin at number 2, Indiana. I have Indiana by 23, total 45 and 3/4. And Indiana is giving 29.5, total 43.5. I'm going to take Wisconsin getting the 29 in the hook to cover. On ESPN, South Carolina, number 3, Texas A&M. I have A&M by 18.5, total 51 in the quarter. And A&M's giving 17.5, total is 49.5. Slide over. Number 9, Notre Dame. Number 22, Pitt on ABC. So we have an ACC game on ABC for the first time. It feels like forever. I have Pitt 1.5, total 59.5. And Notre Dame is favored in this game by 12.5, total 53.5. Y'all know where I'm going. And it's the Pitt Panthers plus 12.5 and plus 360. Notre Dame is going to lose outright the Pitt. On Fox, number 18, Michigan and Northwestern. I have Michigan by 4, total 43.25. Or I'm sorry, in 15/20ths. Read that wrong. And it's 10.5, total is 41.5. I love Northwestern getting the points. I love the college league too. Holy shit. ESPN 2, number 24, South Florida and Navy. I have Navy 4.5, total 62.5. And it is where's that line? Oh, South Florida 10.5, total 63.5. Whoa. I like Navy plus 10.5 and plus 310 outright. Arizona, number 25, Cincinnati on Fox Sports 1. I have Cincinnati by 7, total 55.5. And it is 6.5 and 56.5. Slide under. That's not in Fat 5. Kansas State, Oklahoma State on ESPNU. My line's Kansas State by 9, total 55.75. And Kansas State is giving 19.5, total is 50.5. I'm going to take Oklahoma State to cover that number. Air Force, UConn, CBS Sports Network. I have UConn 10.5, total 64. And it's 7.5 and 64.5. I'm going to lay 7.5 with UConn. UTSA, Charlotte. I have UTSA by 7, total 61.1. And it is 17.5 and 58.5. I'm going to take Charlotte getting the number. Eastern Michigan, Ball State. I have Ball State 6.5, total 50.5. And it's Eastern Michigan 2.5, total 48.5. I'm going to take Ball State plus 2.5 and plus 118 outright. 12:45 SEC Network, Arkansas and LSU. My line's LSU 14, total 55 and 7/10. And it is 5.5 and 57.5. I'm going to lay the 5.5 with LSU. That's short for me. 1 o'clock, Oregon State, Tulsa. My line's Oregon State 4.5, total 15, 13/20. And it's 1.5 and 50.5. I'm going to lay 1.5 with Oregon State. On TNT, West Virginia, Arizona State, 12.5, total 50 and 9/10. And it's 11.5 and 47.5 over. Tennessee Tech, Kentucky, 1:30 on SEC Network Plus. My line's, wait for it, Tennessee Tech, 3.5, total 54 and 3/5. And Kentucky's giving 21.5, total 52.5. I'm taking 10 Tech plus the points and 12-1 outright. They're undefeated, and Kentucky stinks. And there's your FCS over FBS late year upset. 2 o'clock, Marshall, Georgia State. My line's Marshall 2.5, total 63 3/4. And it's 7.5 and 62.5. I'm going to take Georgia State getting the points. North Texas, UAB. My line's North Texas 12.5, total 66 and 7/20. And it is 18.5 and 68.5. I'm going to take UAB plus the points. 3 o'clock, UTEP, Missouri State. Mine's Missouri State 13, total 47 and 19/20. And it's 4.5 and 49.5. I'm laying it with Missouri State. Colorado State, New Mexico. My line is New Mexico by 10, total 51.5. And it's 14.5 and 53.5. I'm going to take Colorado State plus the points. On ABC, number 11, Oklahoma. Number 4, Alabama. Mine's Alabama 8.5, total 46.5. And it is 5.5 and 45.5. I'm surprised how low it is. I'm laying the 5.5 with Bama. On Fox, UCF, number 6, Texas Tech. I have Tech 17.5, total 50 and 19/20. And it is 23.5 and 47.5. I'm going to take UCF getting the points. NC State, number 15, Miami on ESPN. Miami's Miami by 10, total 55 and 17/20. And Miami is 14.5, total 55.5. I'm going to take NC State to cover. Number 16, Georgia Tech, Boston College on the ACC Network. My line's Georgia Tech 18.5, total 58 and 13/20ths, and it is 16.5 and 59.5. I'm going to lay 16.5 with Georgia Tech. Number 21, Iowa. Number 17, USC on the Big Ten Network. My line is USC 5.5, total 52 and 7/20ths, and it is 6.5 and 48.5. Over. I'm surprised it's that low. I thought I would be giving out Iowa plus a double-digit number. But I don't mind the over. ESPN2, number 19, Virginia and Duke. My line is Virginia by 4, total 59 and 4/5. And it's Duke 4.5, total 58.5. Wrong team's favorite, giving Virginia plus 4.5 and plus 164 straight up. CBS, Penn State, Michigan State. My line is Michigan State by a half, total 55. And it is Penn State 7.5, total 49.5. I think that's an overreaction line because of what happened against Indiana in the catch and all that. Give me Michigan State plus 7.5 and plus 245 straight up. But then again, Michigan State has all that drama going on with them as well. Maryland, Illinois, Fox Sports 1. My line's Illinois 11.5, total 53 and 17/20ths, and it's 15.5 and 51.5. I'm going to take Maryland getting the points. Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky. Mine's Western by 18, total 52.5. And it is 13.5 and 54.5. I'm going to lay it with Western. San Jose State, Nevada, CBS Sports Network. Mine's Nevada as a 7-point dog, total 49 and 4/5. And it's 9.5 and 48.5. I'm going to take Nevada getting the 9.5. App State, James Madison. Mine's JMU 15, total 52 and 4/5. And JMU is 20.5, total 52.5. I'm taking App State getting the 20 in the hook. South Alabama, Yale Monroe. Yale Monroe 5.5, total 51 and 3/4. And Yale Monroe is a 4.5 point underdog, total 49.5. Give me Yale Monroe plus the points and plus 168 straight up. Texas State, Southern Miss. I have Southern Miss 15, total 63, and it's 3.5 and 65.5. I love Southern Miss minus the 3.5. That is way too low. 4 o'clock ESPNU, Memphis, East Carolina. Mine's East Carolina by a half, total 54 and 7/10. Memphis is, East Carolina's favored 3.5, total 58.5. So for this one, I'm going to take Memphis plus 3 and a hook and plus 136 straight up. FAU Tulane. My line is Tulane 12.5, total 59 and 13/20ths, and it is 17.5 and 62.5. I'm going to take FAU in the points. New Mexico State, Tennessee, or number 23, Tennessee on the SEC Network. I have Tennessee 19, total 60 and 3/5. And it's a whopping 40.5, total 61.5. I'm going to take New Mexico State plus the points. North Carolina, Wake, 4:30 on the C-Dub. My line's Wake by 1, total 42 and 3/20ths. And Wake's giving 5.5, total 38.5. Do I really have to bet on Belichick? I do. North Carolina 5.5, or give out Belichick, I should say. 5 o'clock, Liberty, FIU. Mine's FIU by 1, total 50 and 4/5. And it's Liberty 2.5, total 51.5. I'm taking FIU plus 2.5 and plus 114 straight up. 6 o'clock, Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern. Mine's Southern 1.5, total 57 and a 5th. And it's Joshua 3.5, total 60.5. I'm going to take the under. I think that's the first time I've given out an under so far. ESPN 7 o'clock, Florida at number 7, Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss 17, total 50 and a 20th. And it's 11.5 and 54.5. I'm going to lay the 11.5 with Ole Miss. I think Florida has mailed it in. ESPN 2, number 13, Utah, Baylor. I have Baylor by a half, total 58 and 9/20ths. And it's Utah 8.5, total 60.5. I'm taking Baylor plus 8.5 and plus 275 to win. Purdue, Washington, Fox Sports 1. I have Washington 16, total 50 and 13/20ths. And it is is that 7:30? No, o'clock, okay. 16.5 and 51.5. Ooh. Slight under. Delaware, Sam Houston. My line is Delaware by 9, total 57 and 13/20ths. And it's 10.5 and 55.5. Over. Utah, UNLV, CBS Sports Network. I have UNLV 10.5, total 66 and a quarter. and it's 6.5 and 68.5. I'm gonna lay it with UNLV. UCLA #1 Ohio State 7:30 NBC. My line is Ohio State 22.5 total 47 and 3/10, and it's 31.5 and 47.5. I'm gonna take UCLA to cover. Maybe Ohio State's peeking out a little bit. ABC #10 Texas, #5 Georgia. It's the game of the weekend. Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler on the call. My line's Georgia 5.5 total 49 and 3/5, and it's 6.5 and 49.5. That's about as close as you can get for a big game. I think Georgia wins, but Texas covers, and that game will not be seen in Fab 5, and that's a good thing. ACC Network, Virginia Tech at Florida State. Mine's Florida State 6.5 total 55 and 17/20, and it's 13.5 and 54.5. That's way too high. Give me Virginia Tech plus the points. 7:45 Mississippi State, Missouri on the SEC Network. My line's Missouri by 10.5 total 55 and 7/20, and it's 6.5 and 51.5. I'm gonna lay the 6.5 with Missouri. 8 o'clock Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State on ESPNU. My line's Jacksonville State is a 3-point dog, total 51.5, and it's 3.5 total 55.5. That's close. Give me the under. 10 o'clock on the C-Dub, Louisiana Tech, Wazoo. My line's Wazoo by 4, total 44 and 19/20, and it's 8.5 and 43.5. Give me La Tech plus 8.5. That's a lot of points. 10:30 CBS Sports Network, Boise State, San Diego State. Oh, I skipped one. Oh no, we'll go back to it. Boise State, San Diego State, 10:30 CBS Sports Network. My line's San Diego State by 3, total 47 and 3/4, and it's 1.5 and 41.5 over. The one I skipped, 10:15 ESPN TCU at #12 BYU. My line's BYU by 11, total 54 and 3/10, and it's 3.5 and 51.5. This is the ultimate bounce back spot for BYU. I'm going to lay the 3.5. And then 10:30 on Fox Sports 1, last but not least, Wyoming Fresno. My line is Fresno 9, total 43 and 3/4, and it is 3.5 and 40.5. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with Fresno. Wow. I don't know what to pick for Bet 5 in either sport. Oh my God, this is amazing. All right. College basketball time. I'll admit right now I didn't do lines and totals for the slate for tonight. We didn't have time, but I promise now that once college football dies, we will get more into that, obviously, and take it more seriously. Recap yesterday's small window. Look ahead to today. St. Pete, South Alabama over Central Michigan, 66-64. Cornell over Lafayette, 97-78. West Virginia over Pitt, 71-49 in the backyard brawl. I'm surprised that was a blowout. Number 17 Michigan State over San Jose State 79-60. Number 2 Purdue over number 8 Alabama 87-80. Howard over Alcorn State 72-64. Georgia State over Fort Valley State 90-56. I don't know why I said that result. That was a non-division 1 game. UMass over Le Moyne 94-80. Seton Hall over Monmouth 70-58. Columbia over UMass Lowell 82-76. Grambling over Southern Miss 75-70. Wichita State over Loyola Chicago 95-74. LSU over FIU 98-81. St. Thomas over Green Bay 80-61. Houston Christian over Yale Monroe 72-61. Alabama A&M over Charleston Southern 68-64. And Kansas State over Cal 99-96. That was like a 2013 NBA score right there. Okay. We have a final right now. Is another game in St. Pete. Central Michigan over Coppin State 82-59. All right. Not a lot tonight. 6:30. Lehigh Rutgers. Iowa and Eastern Michigan. Lindenwood Charleston Southern. 7 o'clock ACC Network, Indiana State, number 4 Duke, Eastern Illinois, number 9 Kentucky, Louisiana McNeese, Coastal Jacksonville State, Norfolk State Towson, SC State Charleston, the Citadel West Georgia, Stonehill Fairfield, Fordham Iona, Furman Northern Iowa, Albany Rhode Island, Hofstra Bucknell, at 7:30 SIU Eversville Drake, High Point UAB, Bakersfield Ole Miss. 7:30 on Peacock, Illinois State, USC. Is this going to be held at Staples? Oh, at the Intuit Dome, the Clippers Arena. New Orleans, Tulane, 8 o'clock. Milwaukee, number 11, Texas Tech. Sanford, number 21, Arkansas. On Peacock, also Maryland Eastern, number 23, Creighton. East Texas A&M, Rice. UCF, Texas A&M. Fox Sports 1, Xavier, Iowa. 8:15 College Hill Classic, Hampton Brown. 8:30 True TV, Northwestern DePaul. 9 o'clock ESPN 2, number 6 Michigan TCU. Colgate, number 14 Illinois. ACC Network, NC Central, number 18 North Carolina. Cal Poly, Montana. Georgia Tech, Georgia on the SEC Network. Sacramento State, UC Davis. Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin. Providence, Colorado. Tarleton State, Baylor. 9:30, the Rainbow Classic, Miss Valley State, Utah Tech. 10 o'clock on Peacock. Probably the best game on the board tonight in college basketball. Number 5, Arizona. Number 15, UCLA. Former conference rivals from Los Angeles. I'm going to say Koa Pete leads Arizona to a win. Koa Pete's been special so far. Has to be a contender for the Big 12 Player of the Year, along with fellow freshman Darren Peterson. North Texas St. Mary's, Troy Loyola Marymount, 10:30 Western Lake Cal Baptist, 11 o'clock ESPN2, number 9 Gonzaga and Arizona State. That's another big one. I'm going to say, is Arizona State home? Yeah. I don't know about that one. I'm going to say Gonzaga and Zona State covers. Washington State, Wazoo, and at midnight, Rainbow Classic, Manhattan, Hawaii. All right, Saturday. Busy slate. St. Pete Showdown again at 11 o'clock at South Alabama and Coppin State. 12 o'clock on the C-Dub, Ohio, number 12, Louisville. Marshall, Virginia. Peacock, Clemson, Georgetown. Georgetown, I think, is going to win that game. 1 o'clock, Casey, Texas. Delaware State, New Haven. Vermont, Northeastern. Merrimack, BU. Detroit, Mercy, Toledo. Jacksonville, VMI. ASUN SoCon. And this is also ASUN SoCon. Chattanooga, Florida Gulf Coast. Greenbrier, Tip-Off, River Division, Kent State, Cleveland State. Peacock, Penn State, LaSalle. Stony Brook, Yale. 2 o'clock, Princeton, number 25, Kansas. ASUN SoCon. I can't even speak. Austin P. UNC Greensboro. UTSA Denver. New Hampshire, George Mason. Mercer, Winthrop. ASUN SoCon. Wofford, Bellarmine. On Peacock, Maryland, Marquette. UIC, Chicago State. Miami of Ohio Air Force. Stonehill, Loyola, Maryland. C-Dub, Butler, SMU. BC Temple. Harvard Army. My bad. 3 o'clock. St. Thomas, Southeast Missouri State. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Vandy. ASUN SoCon. East Tennessee State, North Alabama. Sacred Heart, Queens. Binghamton, Longwood. Southeast Louisiana, Mississippi State. 3:30, Greenbrier Tip-Off River Division, Wright State, Radford. On Peacock, Syracuse, Drexel. 4 o'clock, UTEP, Utah State. Montana State, Boise State. Idaho, UC San Diego. Youngstown, St. Bonaventure. Morgan State, Mercyhurst. Fairleigh Dickinson, NJIT. 5 o'clock, Texas Southern, Texas State. North Dakota, UC Riverside. Pacific, Fullerton. Nichols, Murray State. 6 o'clock, True TV. William & Mary at number 13, St. John's. Is this at the Garden or at the Lou? It's at the Lou. Bowling Green, Davidson, Missouri State, Texas, Arlington, Old Dominion, George Washington, 7 o'clock on Fox. This is a big one from Boston. Number 3, UConn, number 7, BYU. BYU has a little bit of drama right now with one of their players getting arrested. We'll get into that news and notes. But we do have AJ in this game, and we do have a lot of other talented players. Solo Ball, Alex Caravan, Celeste Emery. I'm going to say UConn wins. And plus, they're going to have a little bit of a home court advantage with the game being in Boston. Jackson State, Louisiana Tech, Big Ten Network, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Nevada, Santa Clara, SCF State, UNC Wilmington, Little Rock, Ball State, James Madison, LIU, Bethune, Dayton at 7:30. 8 o'clock, Gardner-Webb, Elon, Southern Utah, Omaha, Grand Canyon, St. Louis, the Villanova Challenge on True TV, Duquesne, Villanova, Belmont, Oral Roberts, 9 o'clock, Big Ten, Green Bay, Minnesota, Northern Colorado, Pepperdine, Portland, Wyoming, New Mexico State, Sam Houston, Utah. 9:30, Rainbow Classic, Miss Valley State, Manhattan. 10 o'clock, Utah Valley, Fresno State, Weber State, UC Irvine, Briley, San Francisco, Idaho State, Seattle, and then Rainbow Classic, Utah Tech, Hawaii. And then Sunday, at noon, App State, Dartmouth, Wagner, UMBC, Wright State, Kent State in the River Division, Greenbrier Tip-Off. 12:30 Fox Sports 1, Notre Dame, Ohio State. That's a good game. I think that's going to be close. I'm going to say Ohio State at home wins. Or is that at a neutral? Let's find out. Oh, Value City. That's Ohio State. 1 o'clock, ASUN SoCon, Stetson, Western Carolina. Bryant Valpo, College Hill Classic, Hampton, Holy Cross. 2 o'clock, South Florida, Kennesaw State. ASUN SoCon, Sanford, Central Arkansas. Quinnipiac, Maine, Loyola, Maryland, Fairfield. UMass Lowell, Wake, Charlotte, Vautech. A&M Corpus Christi, Oklahoma State. Central Con, UMass, Western Michigan, South Dakota, Radford, Cleveland State, Winter Tip-Off River Division. 3 o'clock, ESPN, the Battleground 2K25, number 1 Houston, number 22 Auburn. I think Houston's going to wipe the floor there pretty much. Tennessee State, Western Kentucky. 4 o'clock, Empire Classic Campus Game, Presbyterian, Sacramento State. Bulldog Bash, Lindenwood, Alabama A&M. 5 o'clock, UNLV, Memphis. Colorado State, Loyola, Chicago. Harvard, Marist. 5:30, Big Ten Network, Incarnate Word, Indiana. 6 o'clock, Mount St. Mary, Cincinnati. 7 o'clock, Illinois State, Long Beach State. 7:30, Big Ten Network, Akron, number 2, Purdue. 8 o'clock, Troy and Cal State Northridge. And 8 o'clock on ESPN, the Geico Jacksonville Hoops Showdown. Miami, number 10, Florida. This is going to be at Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville. I think the Gators are going to win. Maybe Miami keeps it close like Florida State did against them the other day, but I'm going to say the Gators win that one. Okay, now we'll move on to the NBA. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight. And I do have lines for NBA tonight because it's NBA Cup, obviously, and I didn't want to, leave the NBA out with the importance of the NBA Cup tonight. 3 games yesterday. Raptors beat the Cavs 126-113. Suns over the Pacers 133-98. And the Hawks over the Jazz 132-122. 9 games tonight. 7 o'clock on Prime Video. Heat Knicks from the Garden. Group play. This is Group C. My line is Knicks by 7. And it's probably lower than that because of no Brunson. But I factored in no Harrow too. Oh! The line's higher than I thought it was. 6.5. Total 239.5. 239.5. So very high total. I love the under. I don't know why Miami game's been going over without key guys. And it looks like Bam's going to play too. Nets Magic, that is Group B. Mine's the Magic 12.5, and it's 14 and 224.5, and it is gonna be the over for the pick. Sixers Pistons, that is Group B. Also, my line is Pistons 9.5, and it is 4.5, total 229.5. That's low. I'm going to lay it with the Pistons. For a team that's 10 and 2, that's way too low. 8 o'clock, Blazers, Rockets. That is West, Group C. My line is the Rockets 10.5. And it's 8 and 236.5. I'll lay the 8 with the Rockets. Getting the Rockets under double digits without some key guys for Portland is pretty good. Hornets Bucks, that is Group C. That's the Knicks group. Mine's the Bucks by 8, and it's 9.5 total 239.5. I'll go over. I don't feel good about it though. Kings T-Wolves, that is Group A in the West. My line's Timberwolves 16.5, and it's 11.5 total 240.5. I'll lay with Mini. Lakers Pelicans, that is Group B in the West. My line's Pelicans as a 5.25 underdog, and it's Lakers by a whopping 9.5 total 227.5. That's too high. I know LeBron, it's not back yet, and Luka's back though. I know bounce back spot narrative. I think the Pelicans can cover 9.5. I don't think the Lakers win by double digits. Clippers Mavs, that is Group B in the West. My line, wait, the Clippers and the Lakers in the same group? Wow. That's funny. I have Mavs by 6 without Kawhi, and it is Clippers by 3. Why? Why are the Clippers favored without Kawhi Leonard? That makes no sense to me. So I'm gonna take the Mavs getting the 3 and plus 122 outright. They're due. And then at 9:30 on Prime Video, Warriors Spurs. My line is the Spurs by 5.5. This is Group C in the West. 2.5 and 234. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Spurs. No Jonathan Kuminga. I think the Spurs win and cover. All right, hockey. We'll go over the results from last night, and we look ahead to tonight. Interesting hockey night coming up for sure. Sorry, my device is being wacky here. Kings over to Leafs 4-3 in OT. Stars over to Habs 7-0. Sens over to Bruins 5-3. Red Wings over to Ducks 6-3. Panthers over to Caps 6-3. Jackets over to Oilers 5-4. Avs over to Sabres 6-3. Wow, so that's a handful of games right there. 9 goals. Flames over to Sharks 2-0. Islanders over to Golden Knights 4-3 in OT. And the Kraken over to Jets 5-3. So, not ideal. There's a game going on right now. Penguins Preds. Pens up 1-0 after 2. That is being held in Sweden. 7 o'clock tonight. Canucks Canes. The Metro Division is very clunkered. The Rangers kind of got hot and got back in it a little bit after their terrible start at home and whatnot. They actually won a home game and won a couple on the road, including at Tampa the other night. Carolina's minus 265, Vancouver's plus 216, over under 6.5, minus 10 each way. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 115, Canes minus 1.5, minus 105. I'm going to go with the over. 8 o'clock Flyers Blues. Blues minus 140, Flyers plus 116, over under 5.5, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 220, Blues minus 1.5 plus 176. I like the over in that one as well. And 9 o'clock Islanders Mammoth. The Mammoth are 2-1 as a favorite. The Isles are plus 164, over under 6.5, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 142, Mammoth minus 1.5 plus 116. They each have 20 points. The Islanders have been surprising. I'm going to go 3 overs in hockey. I forgot to do NBA from the weekend. We have to go back. So Saturday in hockey, 5 o'clock Lightning Panthers, 6 o'clock Ducks Wild, 7 o'clock NHL Network Bruins Habs, Rangers Jackets, Kings Sens, Sabres Red Wings Devils Caps, Oilers Canes, Leafs Blackhawks, 8 o'clock Golden Knights Blues, Flyers Stars, 10 o'clock Jets Flames, and Sharks Kraken. Sunday 9 o'clock NHL Network from Sweden, Preds Penguins, 5 o'clock Canucks Lightning, 6 o'clock Golden Knights Wild, 7 o'clock NHL Network, Red Wings Rangers, so Patrick Kane at MSG. And at 9 o'clock, Islanders Avs. And an NBA quickly for the weekend. 5 o'clock NBA TV tomorrow night. Grizzlies Cavs. 7 o'clock Thunder Hornets. Raptors Pacers. 8 o'clock NBA TV. Lakers Bucks. And Nuggets T-Wolves. Wait a second. I just thought LeBron made a post on social media. I wonder if he's coming back tonight. And then Sunday is busy in the association. 3:30 Clippers Celtics, 4 o'clock Kings Spurs, 6 o'clock Nets Washington Wizards. That's a tankathon game. 7 o'clock Magic Rockets, Golden State Warriors, New Orleans Pelicans. 7:30 Blazers Mavs. 8 o'clock Hawks Suns, and Bulls Jazz. Okay, now move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today and the weekend. So UEFA, Hungary over Armenia 1-0, Iceland over Azerbaijan 2-0, Norway over Estonia 4-1, Albania over Andorra 1-0, England over Serbia 2-0, France over Ukraine 4-0, Italy over Moldova 2-0, and Ireland over Portugal 2-0. CONCACAF, Suriname over El Salvador 4-0, Curacao over Bermuda 7-0, Trinidad over Jamaica, that was a 1-1 draw, Panama over Guatemala 3-2, Haiti over Costa Rica 1-0, Nicaragua over Honduras 2-0, AFC first leg Iraq UAE 1-1 draw, CAF Nigeria over Gabon 4-1, and Congo D over Cameroon 1-0. Friendlies, New Guinea over Solomon Islands 1-0. Hong Kong, Cambodia 1-1 draw. India over Bhutan 6-1. Thailand over Singapore 3-2. Bangladesh, Nepal 2-2 draw. Iran, Cape Verde 0-0 draw. Iran wins 5-4 on penalties. Algeria over Zimbabwe 3-1. Czechia over San Marino 1-0. Lithuania, Israel 0-0 draw. North Macedonia, Latvia 0-0 draw. Canada, Ecuador 0-0 draw. And then today we have a couple results so far. Friendly results, Japan over Ghana 2-0. South Korea over Bolivia 2-0. Equatorial Guinea over Kenya 1-0. Oman over Sudan 2-0. Argentina over Angola 2-0. Comoros over Namibia 1-0. Uzbekistan over Egypt 2-0. Saudi Arabia over Ivory Coast 1-0. Tunisia over Jordan 3-2. Going on now, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Morocco, Mozambique. 7 o'clock tonight is Grenada and U.S. Virgin Islands. And 9:30 is Venezuela and Australia. And then UEFA going on right now. Croatia, Faroe Islands, Gibraltar, Montenegro, Luxembourg, Germany, Poland, Dutch, and Slovakia, Northern Ireland. And one final, Malta over Finland, 1-0. All right, the only picks I'm going to give out is MLS because it's playoffs. All right, so Women's League tomorrow at noon. That's also playoffs. So Washington and Portland on CBS. Washington's minus 160, Portland's 4-1. The draw's plus 290. I think Washington wins. Under 2.5 goals, though, plus 102. 8:30 Super League, Man City, Man United. UEFA, 9 o'clock, Pakistan, Belgium. Noon, Cyprus, Austria, Georgia, Spain. Liechtenstein, Wales. Turkey, Bulgaria, 2:45. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Romania. Denmark, Belarus, Greece, Scotland. Slovenia, Kosovo, and Switzerland, Sweden. Friendlies. Busy week in friendlies. Or busy weekend. 8 o'clock, South Africa, Zambia. 9 o'clock, Lesotho, Malawi. 10 o'clock, Russia, Chile. 11 o'clock, Brazil, Senegal, Kuwait, Tunisia. At noon, Libya and Mauritania, Uganda, Chad. 1:30, Bahamas and British Virgin Islands. 3 o'clock, Barbados, Aruba. 5 o'clock on TNT, U.S. Paraguay from Subaru Park. That's where Philly plays. U.S. should beat Paraguay. It looks like they're a favorite. I think they're going to win with the home court there. 6 o'clock, Guinea, Bonaire. 7 o'clock, Cayman Islands and Anguilla. 7:30, Colombia, New Zealand. 8 o'clock, Mexico, Uruguay. And then USL, that's playoffs too. Pittsburgh and Rhode Island at 6:30. Pittsburgh's even money. Rhode Island's plus 280 draw plus 2. I'm going with Pitt at even money. And then 8:30 is Tulsa, New Mexico. Tulsa minus 110, New Mexico plus 260, draw plus 240. I'm going with Tulsa at minus 110. And then Sunday, 3 o'clock on ABC is Orlando, Gotham. Also a playoff game. So that's the semifinals. Orlando plus 165, Gotham plus 150, draw plus 220. I hate to do it, but I'm going to take Orlando. They're home. I think that crowd's going to be ruckus. They're a good team. I'm rooting for Gotham, obviously, for my local area, but I'm going with Orlando at plus 165 for a slight upset there. So that's the semifinals in women's. There's 2 games I gave out. Super League, Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, Aston Villa and London City. Brighton and Hove, Leicester City. Liverpool, Chelsea. West Ham, Everton. 9:30, Tottenham, Arsenal. UEFA, 9 o'clock, Hungary and Ireland. Portugal, Armenia. At noon, Albania, England. Azerbaijan, France. Serbia, Latvia. Ukraine, Iceland. 2:45, Israel, Moldova. Italy, Norway. 2 o'clock, Nigeria, Congo, DR. And then Monday morning. I'm actually going to do the regular show Monday morning instead of in the afternoon. So I'm not going to touch on Monday a lot. We're going to skip golf because of time. On this day, we have to do the last 2 because we did not get to, on this day, for yesterday. On yesterday's show, if we're going to do today and yesterday. Okay, so on this day, November 13th, which was yesterday, 2012, Blue Jays Marlins pull off 12-player blockbuster trade. You'll never forget. And then the Blue Jays were the hype team going into the 13. People were picking them to win the World Series. And it was like Jose Reyes. It was in that deal. A lot of veteran guys. And the Marlins got a lot of prospects back. All I remember is that Jose Reyes was in that trade. I just remember that watching the MLB Network and that coming up on Sports Center too, and everyone made a big deal of the trade. 2014, Clayton Kershaw named NL MVP. I knew I said that I remembered he won MVP. I said that on the podcast yesterday. I said, didn't he win MVP that year too? In 2014, also Mike Trout named AL MVP. Not surprised. Was that the year they were in the playoffs? Yes, they won the division that year. 2015, Red Sox acquired Craig Kimbrell. Had a couple moments for them. 2017, AL Rookie of the Year that year. The new AL MVP, the 3-time now AL MVP, Aaron Judge. 2013, Clayton Kershaw wins NL Cy Young Award. 2015, Gary Pinkel steps down as Missouri head coach. 2017, Carlos Beltran retires after that World Series run. 2019, Jacob deGrom wins NL Cy Young. 2019, Justin Verlander wins AL Cy Young. 2020, Marlins hire Kim Ng as GM. I don't think Kim Ng did a bad job. I just think they ousted her because of results on the field. And it's the Marlins. In 2013, Max Scherzer wins AL Cy Young. That was his big breakout year. And then that kind of set the tone for him long term. And then on this day today, November 14th, 2019, Myles Garrett hits Mason Rudolph with his helmet. Oh, I remember that. 2019, Mike Trout named AL MVP. 2013, Miguel Cabrera named AL MVP. He was a stud back then. 2019, Cody Bellinger named NL MVP. Jeez. Way too much freaking baseball stuff on this day. 2013, Andrew McCutchen wins NL MVP. 2018, Jacob deGrom wins NL Cy Young, so we went back-to-back signs in 18 and 19. 2019, Trailblazers signed Carmelo Anthony. I vaguely remember him being on the Blazers. It was like one of those short-term things. He was there with Dame for a little bit, and then he ended up on the Lakers with LeBron, if I'm not mistaken. 2012, R.A. Dickey wins NL Cy Young Award. And then they traded him to the Blue Jays that same freaking winter as the blockbuster. 2012, David Price wins AL Cy Young. I remember that. 2018, Blake Snell wins AL Cy Young. 2013, Draymond Green puts Rudy Gobert in the headlock. And 2016, Corey Seager named AL Rookie of the Year. So there you have it for all sports news throwbacks on those days. Okay, news and notes time. There was a lot of stuff that's happened. Aaron Glenn says everything is on the table after Thursday night losses. They're evaluating the quarterback position. We'll see if they go to Tyrod Taylor. Garrett Wilson's timeline may still play this season. Earliest return week is week 15 against Jacksonville. No Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin against the Bills. And meanwhile, Sean McDermott says Dalton Kincaid's out in that same game. Brock Purdy back after turf toe. CJ Stroud's out again with a concussion. John Lynch says that the team is not giving up on Brandon Ayuk this season. Yet again, Duke lands another big-time recruit. Number 1 power forward Cameron Williams picks Duke over Arizona, Texas, and others. Number 1 prospect Tyron Stokes enrolls in new high school, Rainier Beach, after leaving Notre Dame High School. So, of course, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge are your MVPs. We alluded to it in the last segment. Well deserved for both of them. Someone, I'm not going to name a name, but a guest from this show in the past had to argue me because He's like, oh, it's not best player, it's most valuable player. But Cal Raleigh only led the American League in home runs and RBIs. It's not all about home runs and RBIs. And he's trying to make the case for Kyle Schwarber in the National League too, because he's just hating on Judge and hating on Ohtani. But I said this yesterday. Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge are going to win the MVPs in their respective leagues until further notice, as long as they're healthy. That was my big takeaway from yesterday. And maybe I'm being a biased Yankees fan, but I'm just being realistic. So Juan Soto advocates for Pete Alonso and Starling Marte. He wants to see the team re-sign their free agents. Edwin Diaz returned to the Mets as 50-50. The Padres owners are exploring a sale as the Seidler family is looking at strategic options for franchise. That's interesting. Steph Curry is leaving Under Armour as he'll move forward with his own brand independently. That's interesting. We talked about it already. Jalen Brunson's going to miss tonight's game due to an ankle injury. He's day-to-day. Mark Rhodes is stepping down from the college football playoff as the chairman, as he's taking a leave as the Baylor AD, also for personal reasons. Chris Finch makes a joke about JJ Redick's resume with podcasting comments. That's interesting. Justin Fields was critical of the loss. Cardi B and Stephon Diggs gave birth this week. NFL working to limit prop bets as the league is working with lawmakers and sportsbook to restrict specific wagers. I think they're trying to take after the NBA the whole situation with Terry Rozier. So by the way, Shohei was unanimous and Judge had 17 out of 30 first place votes, and the other 13 went to Cal Raleigh. So AL MVP was a lot closer than I expected it to be. Mbappe out of France squad as he returns to club with the ankle issue. Domantas Sabonis is getting trade interest. The Pacers buying a Jose Alvarado trade as they're looking for guard help amid Halliburton injury. That trade's going to be there for you in the summer. Come on. They should tank because this is a generational draft. The Celtics at Indiana, that's why I picked them to be bad, was because those are smart organizations that see franchise changing players and then they could help right away. Derek Lively back tonight against the Clippers. We talked about Paulo being out, left groin strain. Jared McCain is getting a G League stint as he'll play 2 more games with the Delaware Bluecoats amid the recovery. Among Penn State names to watch is former Giants head coach Brian Daboll, which would be funny. MLS to switch schedule as they approve change to summer to spring calendar. That's interesting. So they're not going to have the NASCAR frame. They're going to have the summer to spring would be them overlapping with the start of the NFL and baseball. And then they're going to be ending when baseball starts. So that's interesting. I kind of like it because then we'll have MLS to do. So we don't have to deal with MLS in the. We'll have to deal with MLS in the winter. That will just put a lot more on us. But that's going to start in the summer with the other soccer leagues. So it's good that soccer's all together because MLS would be separate from the other leagues usually. So Tyreek Hill changed his Instagram bio. I don't know if you guys noticed this. It says unemployed. He's getting cut. Saints wide receiver Chris Olave teases extension, shares that a deal is in the works. Lane Kiffin is linked to the Titans as he garnered at least a modicum of interest from Tennessee. That's interesting. You know he's going to get here from the Giants and Tennessee. Both those jobs are enticing. I think the Giants are a little bit more intriguing than Tennessee, but the case for Tennessee is that you're going to be in an easy division and all your only competitor is Houston. But then again, if you're the Giants, the Cowboys are a team in decline. Washington, who knows with Jaden Daniels. But you really have Washington. But then again, I'd say both those jobs are enticing. Gail Benson dismisses ridiculous notion that Mickey Loomis should be fired, as Loomis got the benefit of the doubt. Big Dom facilitates conversation as he arranged a very good talk between A.J. Brown and Jeffrey Lurie. All right. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So we made the best bet before the hour mark, so that's a win for us. Well, we didn't do golf, so we skipped over it because of we just have a lot going on. I'm going to college football tonight for best bet, and I'm going to lay it with Louisville against Clemson. Like I said, I think Clemson's one of the most overrated teams in the sport, and I think that Louisville's going to put on a good performance. So I'm going to lay 1.5 with Louisville against Clemson. I'm surprised that actually went down. All right, Fab 5, we're going to start in college. There's a lot I like. Pick number 1, I'm taking Pitt plus 12.5 against Notre Dame. I just feel that this is Pitt's chance to have a resume type of win. I don't know if maybe they win, maybe they don't, but I love it. Pick number 2. I'm going to lay 5.5 with LSU against Arkansas. I think that this is a good buy low spot on the Tigers against a bad Arkansas team. Pick number 3. I thought about Sparty, but there's a lot of drama going on there. I just don't love the Gators. And I feel like they've kind of mailed it in. So I'm going to lay 11.5 with Ole Miss against Florida. But the case against that is Ole Miss is dealing with the Lane Kiffin drama. And where is he going to go? Is he staying or going? That whole bullshit game. Pick number 4. I've been going against Utah a lot this year. I'm doing it again. I'm taking Baylor plus the 8.5 at home against Utah. I just think that Utah's a little overrated. And Baylor's conference game at home, and they're getting points. And then the last pick of the Fab 5. I have 2 in my head. I just don't know where I'm going to land. It's either going to be Northwestern plus 10.5 against Michigan or BYU minus the points against TCU. I'm going to go with the latter. I think this is a bounce back spot for BYU. Everybody thinks they're a nobody. Everyone thinks they suck, and everyone's like, oh, this team should be 500, and they're 9-1 or whatever they are. So I think because of the everybody's hating on them narrative and TCU is a solid team, but I think BYU is a good team too. So I'm going to lay the points of BYU against TCU. And my underdog, that's going to win straight up. I have a couple in my mind. And the question is, am I going to give out the one that I want to give out? I'm not giving out Sparty because, like I said, there's drama with the sanctions and stuff. I badly want to take Pitt. But I don't know if I'm actually going to take Pitt. Pitt's plus 360. I am gonna do. Here's a good one for you. I'm gonna go UL Monroe plus 168 at home against South Alabama. I just think the wrong team's favored there, and UL Monroe has exceeded expectations this year. So I'm gonna take UL Monroe plus 168 against South Alabama. All right, the NFL Fab Five's a lot harder because there's a lot of games I like. I might end up betting a lot of games. Pick number one, I'm going with the over in the Giant game. This is based on Jameis Winston and the fact that I think he's going to sling the ball around to Wan'Dale Robinson, to Tyron Tracy, and I'm not in love with Green Bay's defense. It performed well against the Eagles, but it also and it performed good against the Panthers, but I think J-Mo can throw on them. If this was Russell Wilson, I'd stay away from this total, but this is a Jameis Winston bet. So over 43.5 in Packers-Giants. And oh yeah, the Giants defense stinks, so this is a good opportunity for the Green Bay offense to get right. Pick number two, I'm taking the Panthers plus 3.5 against the Falcons. I know some may say it's a revenge spot. I just don't trust Michael Penix as a favorite. And if the Falcons win by 3, I win the bet. So I'm going to take the Panthers plus the 3 in the hook against Atlanta. Pick number 4, my favorite bet of the week. Probably one of my favorite bets all year. I'm laying the 5.5 with the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals. Revenge spot from earlier in the year when Pittsburgh lost to them. And they're coming off that pathetic loss against the Chargers. So this is a bounce back spot and a revenge spot for the Steelers, minus the points. Pick number 4. This is probably one of the more disgusting picks I'm going to make all year. And I'm going to take Tennessee plus 5.5 against the Texans. Because I don't think Davis Mills should be giving 5.5 against anybody. And in pick number 5, I'm going to go lay 2.5 with the Eagles at home against the Lions. This is just a smash spot. And I know they didn't play their best against Green Bay. But I do think that they're going to win and cover the spread here. And my underdog to win straight up, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking do it. I'm taking the Denver Broncos at plus 176 to knock off the Chiefs. It's plus 176. I thought about giving out Tennessee, but I don't have the balls to do that. I don't want to give out Jacksonville either. But just for fun, I'm going to give out Denver plus 176 against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then the Chiefs will be 5-5, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?" All right, so there you have it for the show. Be back on Monday recapping everything. We'll get to everything come, Monday night. And hope you guys have a great day, everybody, and have a great weekend too.